落ちた競合飛べないカラス
What's up YouTube, it's Blackwing here, and today I finally want to show you my Blackwing deck profile that I took to regionals last weekend and got 3rd place with it. And this is the Blackwing deck profile I've been working on for the last 2 or 3 months, ever since Steam got limited, and I'll be just building this and perfecting every combo and so on. And my members, and thank you all to all of my members and everybody who has been supporting me. They already know what has been like behind the closed doors, but this is it, and now I want to show it to you other guys as well. And I'm also really happy that I got 3rd place with it, because I got a comment that, hey, if you're not topping, I'm actually gonna burn my Blackwing deck. So I'm really happy that that didn't have to happen. So yeah, let's go to the main deck monsters first, shall we? So we obviously run 3 Simoons. He's just a starter, you know, you already probably know what he does. He activates Whirlwind from the deck and you just want to see him in your every hand. Then we have 3 Sudris, and this is also a no-brainer. You want to have 3 and it's just really good. Then we have Shamal as well, and some people play 2, but I think you definitely have to play 3 because you want to get into your Black Feather Whirlwind. Because it's a really good card even if you don't have Vada, and if you open up somehow, you know, you can get to 2 Black Feather Whirlwinds. It's just insanely good, because then even if your opponent has like a Bestial or something, it doesn't matter that much. So you want to play 3 of him, and you also need a lot of Blackwing names in this deck, because obviously you're running Simoon, so you have to run like a lot of Blackwing monsters. Then for the next card we run 3 Vadas, and this is also something that I see some people only playing 2, but I think 3 is the perfect number here as well. I was testing with only 2, but there we got into the problem that I had some hands where I just had like Simoon and good spells and traps, but really nothing to banish with Simoon, and it was just awkward. So I think you really have to play 17 Blackwings in this build at least to be able to open consistently with a combo. So 3 Vadas. Then next up for the one-offs, we run 1 Sephiroth the Elite. Sephiroth is basically used in the main combo. Some people play 2, but there are combos, even if you draw him you can go for the combo. So it's definitely a good card to like. It's not a brick, it's not that bad to draw, but you definitely don't want to have 2 of him, because basically just playing 2 of him ensures that you have that 1 in your deck, but you can usually go for the combo even though you draw the 1 Sephiroth. So it's good. Then we run 1 Gale. It's kind of the same with the old Kaliuga build. You don't actually need to run him, no combo depends on him, but he's just a really good special summon, and he can come up handy in really kind of strange situations. And if you have like really good hand, you usually want to search him, because then you have that extra extender, and he's really nice breaking boards also when going 2nd. So that's why I want to play 1 Gale. Then we have 1 Steam, and this is the card that I absolutely love. It's so good. The combo possibilities with this card is just insane, and I hope this card would go back to or come to 3, because then you could banish it easier with Simoon and probably maybe summoning it back with Aster. So that's one thing that I really am looking forward into. Even though you can only use its effects once per duel, it's just so much better if you can run 3 of him, because then you have the possibility to kind of build your deck more around Steam, even though now we got a card that can send it to the graveyard, which is also really nice. But yeah, Steam opens up a lot of combos, and it kind of takes a lot to get used to kind of get everything out of Steam. But yeah, 1 Steam. Then we run 1 Harmadan, and I was actually first running 2 Harmadans, but I found out pretty quick that 1 is enough, and it's obviously the 1 card you want to send to the graveyard with Vada first. Then we have 1 Chinook, and Chinook is also one of those cards that it's not that needed. I rarely ever try to get into it or search it, but sometimes if my opponent has like a Rulkalos or something that I just want to negate and try to push for damage or whatever, it's really good to have there, but usually you don't kind of need it. So you could play 2 Harmadans over Chinook, but Chinook is just nice that if you really need something to negate your opponent's monster, like an Impermanence or the Effect Veiler, you can search it, so that's really nice. Then we have For the regionals, I played 3 gammas and 1 driver, and I would say this depends heavily on where you are located. These could all also be bestials, but for my regionals I was expecting a lot of like tier 2-ish decks, so not that much of tiers, and obviously a lot of dimensional shifter, and I was expecting also my opponent just to kind of shotgun the dimensional shifter in, like, you know, draw phase or, you know, standby phase. So I could go easily for, you know, activate Gamma and make Omega and rip 1 card from their hand. So that was kind of the idea with Gamma, and also because this card is just in general really good almost against every deck except for maybe Terror Elements. So yeah, that was my kind of idea with this card. So I was expecting a lot of like tier 2-ish decks, and that's why I didn't play the bestials. But let's go or come back to the changes soon, that what I would change and so on. Then we play 1 Raider's Wing. Obviously want to play Kali Yuga in this build, so that's, or at least when we're going first, so that's why we play Raider's Wing. Then we have Destrudo, and Destrudo is the small world bridge, and why you want to play Destrudo over something else is because then you can also, with small world, get rid of your Gammas from your hand and, you know, banish Destrudo and get a Simoon to your hand. So that's why we play Destrudo over, for example, Radiant in this build. Then we play 3 Small Worlds. Small World is just the card I just said, and it essentially gives your deck consistency because you can search Simoon to your opening hand. Then we run 3 Pot of Prosperity, pretty much the same as Small World, so adds consistency. Really good card when going second as well when you have the side deck in, because if you're not playing against Sprite, for example, they're playing against Fluvanderees, you can just dig for those evenly matches and Dark Ruler, No Mores, and cards that break their board, so that's nice. Then we run 3 Black Whirlwinds. This is a card that I was also testing first for the longest time as 2, because in the old Kali Yuga build I really liked 2, and in the old Kali Yuga build we had the issue that you didn't want to run too many spells and traps because otherwise you could not go for the combo, so you were more dependent on monsters. In this deck it's not the case, so we want to play 3. It's really good at 3. Then 2 Black Feather Whirlwinds. I was also first testing 1, but then I just realized how insanely good this card is, and it's at least 2 of, sometimes I even think that should this be bumped to 3 because of how good it is. But yeah, because basically if you have almost any Blackwing, Black Whirlwind and Black Feather Whirlwind, that any Blackwing can search Vada from your deck, and then Vada plus Black Feather Whirlwind is the combo. So yeah. Then for more spells, Triple Tactics Talents. This is just a kind of like nice 2 of to have in the deck. I think it's kind of like safe because I was also testing evenly matches for this spot. Evenly match was obviously not that great when you went first. That Triple Tactic Talents can be really good when you're going first if you're getting hand trapped. So that's something, and Triple Tactic Talent is also pretty good if you're going second, depending on obviously the matchup, but yeah. So I really like 2 of them. I was also testing 1, but then you just kind of never see it. So with 2, you see it, and the odds of you actually opening with 2 when you're actually playing 2 is like 2%, so that rarely never happens. So I think 2 is the perfect number that you see it, but you don't kind of brick with it. Yeah. Then we run the 1 Phantom Knight's rank up magic launch. You're going for Kali Yuga. And then for the last cards in the main deck we play triple Infinite Impermanence, and this is just a no-brainer in this format, just good against every deck, and yeah. Also you can turn off floodgates with it, so that's nice. Then for the extra deck we run 1 Boreal Storm, pretty much dumps anything to the graveyard you want. Usually you want to send Steam, but you can send any other card. Then we have 1 Nothing, burns for damage. This is usually or I usually send this or banish it with Prosperity because I usually don't use it in my combos. I don't use Dragoon, for example, so I don't need to go for the like extra summon. And also, in my personal opinion, I don't like depending on it too much, because if my opponent for some reason has an impermanence, it's really bad if they kind of hit Nothing and you have already added Sudri back to your hand with Shamal. So yeah, then we run one Raikiri, and Raikiri is there obviously, you know, popping cards, nice when going second, and also for the Kali Yuga, because we're making Arsenal Falco with Hawk and Raikiri. So our next card is Hawk, and Hawk is just a really nice card. It's also a warrior, that's something to remember, it's not a Winch Beast monster. So yeah, then we have one Black Feather Whirlwind, Black Winch Dragon, and just eats up damage, and it's kind of... First I didn't like the card so much, but it actually works pretty nice in this deck, and yeah. Then we have the one Omega, and Omega is just there for the Gammas. If I would not play Gammas, I would not play Omega. So yeah. Then we have one Borreload Savage Dragon. You just have this with your links in the graveyard, and then you have that nice Omni Negate. And then kind of the boss monsters, we have one Full Armor Master, and Full Armor Master is just auto win against Flu Wanderers. Usually they don't play a single card anymore in the main deck that can beat over this. Usually they play the Mystic Mine, but nowadays they don't pretty much play anything, so that's really nice. Then I run two Black Winch Assault Dragons, and this card is just the nuts against Terror Elements and a lot of other decks as well. So basically, this is the best card against Flu Wanderers. This is the best deck. This is the best card against Terror Elements. So you don't even have to go into Kali Yuga to be able to win. You just have to kind of know what you are playing against. So sometimes you can just go kind of like for an all synchro board. If you get hand trapped so badly that you cannot go for the Kali Yuga, you can just make double Black Winch Assault Dragon and then hope that that's enough to win the game. Then we have one Arsenal Falco, and then we have one DDD Duo Dawn King Kali Yuga, and this is basically just good against pretty much everything when you're going first, you know. And obviously you always, it's also in the book Road of the King, I think, or the book that Patrick Hoban wrote, that you should always deck build to go first, and that's kind of the theory here as well. So always when I'm going first, I want to go into King Kali Yuga, but when I'm going second, I usually side deck out cards that would enable Kali Yuga, so Raider's Wing and the rank up card and things like that. And then I can also easily, with Prosperity, you know, banish cards that are not kind of active for my deck because of how I have sided. Then we have one Wise Tricks, and this also enables the combo. You can search the rank up card with this or Rusty, but yeah, just a nice card. Then we also have the Rusty, and this is your main kind of guy who you search the rank up card with. And then the last card is Darkness Metal Dragon of Dark Steel, and yeah, with this card, even if you get shifted, you can go for the combo, and there's also kind of odd hands. For example, if you have to banish the Raider's Wing from your hand with Small World to, for example, be able to access Simoon, you can still go through the whole Kali Yuga combo with this card. And usually if you have already a really good card, this is like the first card to banish off with Prosperity, because usually they have already played Dimensional Shifter and you already know your hand, so you know. Yeah. Then let's go for the side deck. So the first card is 3-dimensional shifters. I think enough kind of said, you know, we're in the tier 0 tier elements format, so that's why we obviously want to play dimensional shifter, and it's a really good card when going second. Not that good when going first, obviously, but yeah. 3-dimensional shifters. Then this was a card that I also played, Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. And actually, in the regionals I only lost to 2 tier elements players, and I would have won one of them if this card would have been my 5th card from my top of the deck and not the 6th card, because my opponent played Kelbeck and then this was the first card I milled, and then, you know, he just played kind of time and then milled Scattershot, and I kind of lost to that, so that was unfortunate. But yeah, so yeah. Then the next card is Dark Ruler No More. I think this is pretty no-brainer against Sprite and maybe Flubanderies and other kind of random matchups. So yep. Then we have one Harpy's Feather Duster just against any back row deck. Then we have 2 Lightning Storms. This was, I think this was almost like the MVP of the side deck and maybe even the whole event, which was kind of well, I didn't see that coming because Lightning Storm, I know this is a good card, but I didn't know like it would surprise me that how good of a card this was. So yeah, and this is obviously almost like you could almost side in these for like any matchup. Yeah, so it's nice. Then for the last card we have a 3 evenly match, and this card was also good almost against every deck when going second. Obviously you have to skip your like battle phase, but in some matchups it doesn't matter. So yeah, now to maybe the changes of the deck, and then I can talk about what I actually played against in the regionals. So the first cards that I would maybe change were the Gammas, and the Gammas and Driver is because of, and obviously from the extra deck I would change the Omega, and this is because I was anticipating a lot of tier 2-ish decks, and I actually played, or when I went to the regionals, I think like I thought about 20% would maybe play Tier Elements, but there was actually like 33%-ish played Tier Elements, and my first round was against Tier Elements, and my first round, my third round, and my fifth round, or was it sixth round? I cannot remember, but I played against a lot more Tier Elements than I thought, and Bestials would have been much better in those matchups. Against Flu Wanderers, you know, I didn't draw Gamma a single time. I was lucky that I drew the Impermanence, and against Flu Wanderers it was pretty much just a full Armor Master show, and the game already ended after that. Just break their board with Evilly Match and Dark Ruler no more, make a full Armor Master, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, so if there would be something I would change, Gammas weren't that good. And the triple tactic talents, I feel like they also weren't like game breakers or that good what I thought they would or could have been. So maybe you could change these to all to Bestials if you're playing in a different kind of location where there's a lot of Tier Elements. But other than that, I would maybe not change anything in the deck. This could also be Draco Berserker, which would also help you in the Tier Elements matchup. And if you would play Bestials in the main deck, then I would definitely change the Strudo for Radiant, because then that works better as a small world bridge. But yeah, my matchups, or like I played against Tier Elements, I played against Flu Wanderers, I played against Sprite. Sprite was actually, I don't know if I just got really lucky, but the one Sprite matchup that I had, I just 2-0'd him, and it was like really kind of easy game. And then I played against, yeah, Sprite, Tier Elements, Flu, and Branded Despia with Bestials in the main deck, and Libellion and those guys. So I think that was pretty much it, yeah. And the first 3 rounds, I think I lost 4 or 5 dices out of like, I can't remember how many, but yeah, I got kind of unlucky with the dices, but I still managed to win even though I didn't go first. So that's also one thing that is really nice to see with the deck, that before it was really critical that you won the die roll, or otherwise it was so much harder to win with the old Kali Yuga build. With this one you can still go kind of for the synchro plays or some other plays, so it's not that critical that you win the die roll if you still know what you do, because obviously this deck can also play a little bit more hand traps in the main deck when you're going, you know, first. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this kind of video. I know a lot of people have been asking for this video, and I was just waiting for the regionals and then after that do this video. If I top and I got third, so I'm really kind of happy with that. If you have any comments, please comment them down in the comment section below. In one and a half week or 1 week, I'm going to Lyon, to France, and I'm also bringing Blackwings obviously there. I'm gonna change this build, so if you want to see how I change it, please consider becoming a member, because members will see everything first, also the videos if you're becoming a diamond member. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little update, and as always, I'm out.
それでも一人じゃなくなったあいつは強いよ。